Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast Special Edition Series show as we go through every NCAA Men's College Basketball Conference Tournament and preview and predict them. This is the fifth of 32 episodes, and this will be dedicated to the Big South as we will preview and predict the Big South Conference Tournament, which will be held at Bojangles Coliseum in Charlotte, North Carolina. So we did NEC, Atlantic Sun, Horizon, and Patriot, and now we will start with Big South for this evening. So the Big South North Division, and your one seed in the tournament, you have Longwood 23-6 overall, 15-1 in conference play. Your 2 seed is Winthrop from the South Division, 21-8 overall, 14-2 in conference play. Your 3 seed is Gardner-Webb from the South Division, 17-12 overall, 11-5 in conference play. Your 4 seed is USC Upstate from the South Division, 13-15 overall, 10-6 in conference play. Your 5 seed from the South Division, UNC Asheville, 16-13 on the year, 8-8 in conference play. Your 6 seed is Campbell from the North Division, 15-12 on the year, 8-8 in conference play. Your 7th seed is High Point from the North Division, 13-17 on the season, 7-9 in conference play. Your 8 seed is Radford in the North Division, 11-17 on the year, 7-9 in conference play. Your 9 seed is NCA&T, 11-19 on the year, 6-10 in conference play. Your 10 seed is Hampton. They're from the North Division, 9-18 overall, 5-11 in conference play. Your 11 seed is Presbyterian from the South Division. They're 12-19 on the year, 4-12 in conference play. Then your 12 seed Charleston Southern is 1-15 on the year and 5-24 in conference play. So the tournament will get going on Wednesday, March 2nd with the first round at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. You have 9-seeded NCAT and 8-seeded Radford from the Bow, as they would like to call it down in Charlotte. A&T this season, still a newcomer to the Big South. A very balanced team, led by Marcus Watson, and then Radford on the other side is your 8 seed. Very, very balanced on that team too. Nobody on Radford averaged double-digit points per game this season. That's a fun fact about Radford. I think this is the first team we've done so far where nobody has averaged double digits per game. Very close with Rashad Williams averaging 9.9. My projections here is NCAT as a 1.5 point favorite, total 132 and 2/10. So therefore, I have A&T advancing to the quarterfinals. The second of the 4 games in the first round, this would be at 2 o'clock from the Bow. 12-seeded Charleston Southern and 5-seeded UNC Asheville. Charso, very disappointing year. Their leading scorer with 11.8 points per game, Talik Chavez. And then on the other side with Asheville, thought they'd be a little bit better than this. Drew Pember, averaging over 15 a game for him, so not a bad score. My projection here is Asheville by 14, the quarter total 141 and 1/10. So therefore, I have Asheville moving on. The third of 4 first-round games, 10-seeded Hampton and 7-seeded High Point. Hampton, a couple decent scorers here with Najee Garvin and Russell Dean. And then High Point, I felt overachieved this season. They have one of the better scorers in the Big South and John Michael Wright, 18.5 points per game. My projection here is High Point by 118, total 135.6. So therefore, I have High Point advancing. In the last of the first round games, 11-seeded Presbyterian and 6-seeded Campbell at 8 o'clock. Presbyterian's always been a bottom feeder in this conference. They have one of the better scorers in the conference, go with Rayshawn Harrison. And then Campbell, usually a contender for the Big South every year, but a little bit worse than usual. Leading scorer Cedric Henderson Jr. at 14.1 points per game. Projection, Campbell by 8.25, total 131.5. So therefore I have Campbell advancing. All right, quarterfinals, obviously no totals because it's tough to project totals because we don't know how many points every team will score. Future projections are better to play out in terms of lines. So here I, in theory, be 9-seeded NCAA team, 1-seeded Longwood. Longwood, the best team in the conference this season. Very well-balanced team. Surprising conference winner this year. Justin Hill leads the way with almost 14 a game. My projection is Longwood 7.5 here, so therefore I have Longwood advancing. UNC Asheville and USC Upstate. By the way, the quarterfinals are on Friday, March 4th in this league. Upstate, I felt, was one of the bigger surprises in conference play this season in the Big South. Led by Bryson Mazzone, over 15 a game. My projection here is actually UNC Asheville by 9, which is crazy. So, therefore, I have Asheville advancing to the semifinal. 7-seeded High Point and 2-seeded Winthrop. Winthrop was really good, as they always are. Felt that they're undervalued in the market. DJ Burns Jr. over 15 a game for them. My projection here is Winthrop by 12.75. Therefore, I have Winthrop advancing. And the last of the quarterfinals, 6-seeded Campbell, 3-seeded Gardner-Webb. Gardner-Webb, one of the better teams in the Big South this season. Demorion Williams and Lance Terry each averaging 14.4 points per game. But my projection here is Campbell by 1 7/8. So therefore, Campbell I have advancing. And by the way, nobody gets extra points for a home court here because the Bow doesn't have a college basketball team playing there. They're the home of the Charlotte Checkers in the AHL, but they don't have a college basketball team playing in there, or a G League for the NBA or whatever. Semifinals, Saturday, March 5th. 5-seeded UNC Asheville and 1-seeded Longwood. Two fine teams. My projection here is Longwood by 2 5/8. So they continue their strong season, led by Hale, Wilkins, and Wade, as I have them advancing to the championship game. And then Campbell, Winthrop. I have Winthrop projected by 4 1/8. Winthrop's just better than Campbell this season. DJ Burns will lead the way. And then the championship for the Big South. 2-seeded Winthrop, 1-seeded Longwood. Best two teams in the conference easily this season. Winthrop's been there and done that the last several seasons. Longwood has a nice big three with Hill, Isaiah Wilkins, and Deshaun Wade. Really great, promising season for Longwood, but my projection here is Winthrop by 2 2/4 or 2 1/4. So my projected winner for the 2022 Big South Tournament is the Winthrop Eagles, who I've gone back to the big dance yet again after they were in it last year too. They would have been in it the year before had not been for the pandemic. Gardner-Webb actually won it 3 years ago. Radford won it in 18, and then Winthrop was it in 17. So this would be Winthrop's third tournament in a 6-year span. And Winthrop is just a really, really fun team to watch this year. And they have a great coach in Pat Kelsey. And we'll see if they could do it again or if Longwood could crash the party potentially. So I'm going to check if FanDuel has odds out for the Big Ten tournament. The Big South, and they do. Longwood's a plus 145 favorite. Winthrop's plus 220. That's going to be the bet there. But if there's like a long shot pick I'm willing to take, I might be willing to go with the team that has one of the better scores in all the conference here with Winthrop and John Michael Wright, or High Point. High Point is 23-1, but if I had a long shot pick, it'd be High Point at 23-1. But Winthrop plus 220, I think, is really good value for the Big South Conference tournament winner. But High Point would be like my long shot pick if I had to go in that direction. All right, so that's it for the Big South. Next up will be the OVC.